If I wait and I don't do politics, they would either kill me directly or indirectly. So I'd rather go into politics and stop them from killing me. And when the shooting started, the bullet hit a guy right beside me.
Wow.
And we rushed him. I mean, like two people were killed. A couple of other people, got bullets, shots here and there. Of course, look at what happened with Peter Obi now.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? If Peter Obi had come out to say he spent 800 million, to campaign, that cannot even go into what people did for him at the grassroots. Whilst I was campaigning, I knew a lot of people that were using their money to paste posters, to do banners, who don't know Peter Obi, who were not part of the Labour Party. I'm a member of Redeem. I've always been a member of Redeem. I got married in Redeem. I had my 2 children. I am still a member till today. If there are some things, not even if there are some things Pastor Adeboye has said in the past that I don't agree with, and I will say it. This one, sir, you are wrong. It does not mean that if he prays, I will not say amen. Our people take religion, hook, line, and sinker, and think that when a religious person says anything, is
without flaws.
I mean, no. We all know that they are called man of God or men of God.
But they are man before the God is attached to it.
You see, our politicians are very dull. The ones that are in office, that they are very dull. There is a pattern at which they've actually designed this thing called politics. And so they think that that's the ultimate. And I like the fact that, Peter Obi shocked them in the last election.
But do you know that a lot of times I would say that Nigerians are emotional people? Maybe because of my legal background, that is why I beg to differ on some things. Because if you go to the court of law, that is the only recourse that you have for justice. And Nigerians are talkers. They do not know how to gather evidence. That is where we fail. So
it still comes back to the education he was talking about.
See, you can be emotional about a result. But if we do not have
concrete
tangible evidence that is admissible, you can't just do a video and show the back of somebody and say, your brother is white, so therefore he should be. No. Welcome. It's Say My Piece. Of course, your favorite podcast is here again. And of course, every week we're always bringing it real conversations, conversations that touch where it should touch. Welcome to the show. My name is Pastor Adeboye David. You can call me Lolo One, as we always do it. And of course, as we're coming today, I came with my partner, and it's Owambe P. There's somewhere that they said, Tobagbe Ra Ankara, Oni Jesemu. So that's where we are going or coming from. Ogwe, which one?
Toba Jesara.
Toba Jeskini.
Toba, speak up again.
When it's Toba Jesse, Toba Rash, Toba Rankara.
Hey, you don't hook.
No, Toba Rankara Oli Jesemu.
Toba Rankara.
Oli Jesemu.
Ole Jesemu.
Ole Jesemu. Kí ló dé tó lọ sókè. Ole Jesemu.
Ole Jesemu. This Yoruba, in this life or in the next, I go learn and finish. I'm seeing the process. At least for now, Agbe will not fit it me. At least for now. At least Ogbe close share. At least. Any which way, Owambe things with a touch of steez. Understand me now. How on a day, you're all welcome. It's another week of your favorite. Yeah? And we say welcome to everybody. All right. So, Lolo, any other thing for the introduction?
I want to just say thank you so much for all the shares, all the likes. We're seeing it. And we're seeing all your comments. Please keep it coming.
Yep.
Because it's when you engage this content that, it does what we want it to do. We said it's say my piece. That means say your piece.
Yes.
So
talk your mind.
Yes, talk your mind. So that say your piece so that you don't fall into pieces. Right.
Oh, wisdom will not kill you.
Yeah.
On today's show, we are going political.
Yeah.
You understand? Political. You understand? And the way it is right now, because where the country did now, everybody got to chook eye for the level. You get, because one way or the other, we cannot be a people that continue to just talk, but don't have, the knowledge of what we're talking about. You can't be screaming from the outward. You have to come into the inner caucus. Hello.
Hi. Yeah. Of course, our guest today is no stranger to both of us. He's a friend,
yes,
but he's a very seasoned gentleman. He is a thespian by training, a director, a movie director, stage director, skit director, director of home, that one aside. Of course, it's an OAP. XOAP, voiceover artist. Artist is what I said, don't manage artists. Yeah.
Gbogbo hustling.
And
presently
is a businessman par excellence.
Yes.
Is a smart dresser.
Yes.
And on top of that, he is a politician now.
Yes.
And he is not just a politician, he is the, I think, public relations officer.
Spokesperson. Yes.
For the Labour Party
in
Lagos State.
Yes, yes.
Please help us welcome IFESALAKO.
Honorable sir.
Honorable sir.
You are welcome, sir. Honorable. You are very welcome, sir.
But I want to throw it to you first, Ife.
You know, they go like and drink water drop. Make it even great for us.
No. As I dobale, I actually felt it was like a spiritual pool.
Yeah.
Is it that when you guys start politics, you guys straight off, you start to swear allegiance to Juju and Ogun and Oya and all those things? Because somehow politicians carry what Yoruba will call Eru.
Meaning what?
That they just have this presence.
This aura. This
aura.
For respect.
When Effective entered this place, something told me, stoop. Stoop.
To conquer.
Please welcome yourself and
yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing me here. Thank you, Lolo. Thank you, Ogbolo. I mean, we're home. I feel at home here.
Yeah.
And of course, my name, of course, is IFESALAKO, and I'm a gentleman.
I don't be gentleman at all. I don't be gentleman at all. Why they see you like say you come on church, you can't do fella stuff?
No, I can't see you say you wear shekere for waist. They do get effective.
Yeah.
That's what now what will be the column that year.
Yes, we call him Effective.
Do you still maintain the name Effective?
Oh yeah, I do. I mean, people still call me Effective.
Like we introduce you as ex-media personality. Yeah. I mean, because you were big on radio. I mean, they worried the whole Lagos that year on radio. At least, but now you've dove. You don't. Is it you've dove? Abi, yeah, you've dove now. Now the English with that. You don't think I they ask you.
It's because I'm not beauty fly. Now you
dove into
you
politics.
dive.
So let's just jump into it because we don't have so much time. Yeah, I think that dove is the correct one.
Delve.
Yeah.
Delve.
So delve. Oh yeah.
Wow. I have to help you for
that's
everything.
the right one. Would they learn every day? You can't act like you know everything.
I'm so happy that you're humble.
Yeah, I'm very humble. Yeah. So politics.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into it. Politics. Because I see all you've been doing on Twitter. You are very, very, very active on Twitter.
Yeah.
And of course, recently, what made me say no, Ife has to come on this podcast and let's discuss this issue, this political issue, was your video that was trending a few weeks ago. The one that had you talking about Wale Soyinka and all that, but we'll get to that, right? But first off, media, then to politics. What was the thing that made you decide to say, okay, this politics thing, I'm no longer going to be having this conversation from the outside. I want to go play the game. What did make you decide at some point?
Okay, so I've always wanted to be politically active. But the opportunity came in 2020.
Okay.
Not really because of NSAS, but because of the aftermath of it.
Okay.
I will put it in this short form. I decided to go into politics because I feel Nigerian government was going to kill me.
Okay.
So if I wait and I don't do politics, they would either kill me directly or indirectly. So I'd rather go into politics and stop them from killing me.
Okay.
And I'll put that into perspective. So when NSAS was going on, the couple of people, were at the toll gate and all.
Yeah.
I live in Alimosho. I've always lived there. I'd never wanted to leave that area, you know. And so at some point there was roadblocks every now and then at different places, and so I couldn't come to the island. So there's a place called the Sherry Roundabout in my area. And so I called some of my guys. I said, let's start a protest here.
While stuff is going on.
While this was going on.
Yeah.
So we started at the Sherry Roundabout. I mean, it was quite big on its own. And not too far, after Sherry Roundabout is a pipeline bus stop. And at the bus stop, that's where the area command for the police, Area M, is. And so whilst the protest was going on, I was in talks with the area commander and all. So the last day, after the 2020, the 2020
issue.
Right. So, we all went back. So some guys wanted to go attack the police station, the area commander.
Yeah, because everything actually went out of hand.
So the area commander called me, and I drove away. I mean, that day, there was something that said to me I was going to die. So as I was leaving my house, my wife was almost crying that don't go out. Between my house, this is about a 5 minutes drive. Between my house and this place called the Sherry, everybody who was important in my life called me. My mom called, my pastor called, my pastor's wife called. Everybody they were calling and saying the same thing: go back, go back. I was just telling them I've heard. But the area commander had called me, and I knew that what's going to happen there was going to be serious. So I drove there. I met the guys. I stopped them halfway. I told them to stop. They shouldn't go to the police station. It doesn't make any sense. This is not why we're here. I tried to talk them. But the guy was one of the thugs, the so-called cultists around that
That's
area.
the one that was leading those
leading
guys.
them. So the area commander told me that they were going to shoot at them. So I begged them, but they didn't listen to me. So they approached the station. So after a while, shooting started.
Wow.
I'd left them. I'd gone far away back. The roundabout at the Sherry is very big.
Yeah.
It was like this the former Lekki roundabout. It was that big. So we were on the other side, and I'm saying like the bus stop to this side was where, and when the shooting started, the bullet hit a guy right beside me.
Wow. And
we rushed him. I mean, like two people were killed. A couple of other people, got bullets, shots here and there. I'm talking of a Sherry roundabout. This is not. And so,
while we were experiencing our own,
another one will be here.
So this guy beside me, we're able to rush him to the hospital, and they were able to revive him. He's still alive to date. They used to call him Afa, but he has a nickname now that is a Rob Bommy. So Rob Bommy in Yoruba means person will swallow bullets. Because he survived.
Yeah.
But in the moment while we're rushing into the hospital, I was looking at him and I was saying to myself that this could have been me. And this bullet could have probably hit me on the head or on the chest, and I probably would have died.
Yeah.
And so the greatest fear of my life vanished
because you had conquered that fear
and
at
so
that point.
I said to myself that it's either I take a bold step and just go straight up and do this, or eventually this thing is going to happen to me.
Wow.
And so I said to myself that I'm going to go into politics and I'm going to make sure I, do it in a way that it would be different from the way it's been done before. So that's how my journey into politics started.
Well, blessed the go first try shoot me too before me too. If I don't do that,
he had like an epiphany when you see your life flash before you, and you're like, okay, what is the worst that can happen?
So you were saying something like politicians carry some sort of aura and all. So we've been trained. I don't know how it happened in this part of the world to just fear everybody.
Yes.
Honestly, you can't even say we're trained. Some of them, it's their acts and the things that we have seen them do.
Oh yeah,
that actually put that fear in you.
But again, it's also in this part of the world, we don't have leaders. We have rulers.
Yeah.
And people, when a person is a ruler, it's your own word that stands, and oftentimes they use it against their own people. So people are often mentally caged.
What happened? What happened is that, to date, a lot of Nigerians still see our political class as military rulers.
Yes, there's that
feeling.
feeling.
That's the problem.
That feeling, yeah.
So when we moved in 1999, when we moved to democracy, most of the politicians who came in were the friends to the military guys, and they too these are people that had gone under military rule for 36 years or so.
Yeah.
So imagine them coming to power. They had been, trained
and
to
programmed.
believe that the way the military were behaving, that once a military ruler is coming, everybody has to leave the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
You cannot approach him to talk to him.
Yeah.
You have to go through like the 10th person before you can get to him.
Yeah.
So they brought that thing into
democracy.
politics, into democracy,
Yeah.
thinking that that's how it ought to be done. Until date, some of them still. So
Operate
when you go out and you challenge a politician,
Yes.
you find people who have been mentally enslaved already that will come and attack you and say, why are you talking to him like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's your leader. He's my. Why they call civil
But
servants?
literally, they're your servants.
Why? That's why
They're
called,
serving the people.
that's
but
why they are called civil servants.
Yeah. I know that you ran for politics. You ran for a position during the last election. And I know how hard you worked.
Yeah.
Because I know that, you did work. You put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
You were doing a lot of grassroots politicking. You were going from place to place.
Yeah.
But I know as a youth, it was challenging.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So can you intimate us with some of the challenges that you saw that were, aside the challenges that happens to all of us as Nigerians, because everybody somehow, the fact that you're a Nigerian is already like a disadvantage.
There are some
sometimes.
things fighting against you already.
There are some things.
Yeah.
Some home juju is
Even-
already on your matter.
Even the youths would fight you.
Oh,
The elders will
fight
fight
you.
you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what experiences did you
Yeah,
have?
did
What
you have
challenges
at
did you
that time?
have?
Well, so the major challenge would be financing, and of course at the time, because I'd made up my mind about it, I was putting everything into it. I had about 2 cars that I sold into it. One is a Range Rover, one is a Honda that I had to sell just to get the bills going. I got a bit of support here and there, but then it wasn't like what I had to put out myself. And still around the financing, but or the finances rather, the people already have been also made to believe that once you're going into politics, you already have some money stacked up somewhere.
Yes.
Or somebody is giving you money
That's
to
a
go
major
and
sponsor.
spend. So I made it a point of duty everywhere I go. I tell them, I say it boldly on radio, TV, everywhere I go to. When I go to the grass, I tell them, I am standing here. My name is IFESALAKO. I don't have any godfather that is sponsoring me. I am doing this alone, all by myself, because I want to make impact, because I want to do something different from what you've been experiencing before. So it was a lot for them to even consider. But at some point, some of them saw the ingenuity of my character, and they saw my sincerity too. And I had a whole lot of people that were following me without asking for money. Some of them had to even spend their monies. And when I started out, we were worried if we were going to get anybody to listen to me, because I said I don't have money to spread. But eventually we got a whole lot of people. And these are people that are not like they are so financially capable on their own, but they were willing to
support.
And I tell you, today, there are Nigerians. Of course, look at what happened with Peter Obi now.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? If Peter Obi had come out to say he spent 800 million, to campaign, that cannot even go into what people did for him at the grassroots. Whilst I was campaigning, I knew a lot of people that were using their money to paste posters, to do banners, who don't know Peter Obi, who were not part of the Labour Party.
Yeah.
So if you put all of this into costs, right, it runs into billions of naira. You get so financial challenges, and of course there were a bit of threats here and there.
When it comes to politics, for me, it's like a scary thing to do, Because people will say that aside money to even make things happen is one. Money to be able to secure yourself is another. So in all these things, did you fear for your family, or like was it a full-blown support from the beginning? Because I know that your family is still growing and young.
Yes. So it is a fear. The fear for the future of my family, of my generation to come, that made me go into politics. Because if their fear is bigger than the fear of me losing my life. You know, Nigerians, we cherish this life so much that, you know, I mean, Fela had said it since the 70s. I don't want to die. Mama had it for a house, my party. And of course, because we keep thinking that death is the ultimate, we had failed to realize that death is actually a transition, whether we like it or not. Nobody is going to leave this place alive. Right?
Yeah.
And so we're scared of, as Africans, we're so, especially Nigerians, we're so scared of dying so much that, I don't
We'd rather just keep
and,
adjusting.
And you are dying as a living person. You don't want to die. You don't want to challenge your leaders. You don't want to go into politics. Your future is being ruined. The children of the poor can never match up to the children of the rich in the kind of society that we are building in Nigeria. Right? And then you don't know that it is death for you to have people's destiny being truncated. It is death. A lot of people are living dead in this country.
Yes, moving dead.
We are just moving. They are not alive. They are dead. You see people, you have conversations with them, and you can see the potentials in them. But where? How do they explore this thing? Nowhere. That potential is going to die. They are eventually going to die. So we are so scared of death that we just felt, no. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I mean, so I had the fear. But the fear of what could happen was greater than the fear of me losing my life.
About that one now, which I think is part of the issue that we've had as a society, the fact that nobody wants to die. So oftentimes we just come forward, we make some noise, then the next thing we disappear. We actually disappear. Now bringing it to the youths of the country, as Nigerian youths, I believe that the whole NSAS move back in the day was what we saw during the election was, a result of what had happened at the NSAS. I mean, the way the young people came out for the last election was because NSAS happened. I remember when we were having the whole NSAS P, at some point it was quite obvious that the young people, we could, for the first time, see that we had power. For the first time. Because it started to really expand. For the first time, we felt it like, more power there in our hands. I will not just sabi use them. Now, that's what finally came to be during the elections, the same way the youth now came out to see possibilities. But in line with what you just said, do you think that the average Nigerian youth is actually ready for change that we seem to talk about? Because on a good day, we do so much talking, we get angry when we see some things not happening, but nobody is moving forward. We get some type of angry. I mean, where we are as a society at the moment, we are at a very terrible state. But how many people are championing the cause and coming forward to say, okay, today we're not going to allow this, we're not going to allow that, we're not going to allow this? Are the young people of this country, now I'm not talking about these old ones, they will still die, come out. Are the young people ready to make that change? And secondly, ready not to allow themselves to be used as, means for these older ones? Because right now, there are so many young people today, they've been brainwashed already, that if I go inside that place, I'm going to go chop fire. Fire. All right, so are the young people ready for politics in this country?
Just to expand on that, recently there was a lot of chaos in Kenya. And you saw that the youths are at the forefront of that struggle. Is that a future possibility in Nigeria?
Okay, so it's unfortunate that the Kenya incident happened, because when the whole thing was going on, and President Ruto kept, he kept silent. He was not making moves. and then it was said that the bill was to help the Kenyan people. And so I don't understand the kind of governance where you say the government, the system that you're practicing, it says government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And then you are making a bill for the people. And then these same people are saying they don't want this bill.
Yeah.
And you're saying you must want this bill.
That's the rulership now.
Exactly.
So
So that's
rulership.
like dictatorship.
And then you went on to kill them for the bill that you want to use to make their life better.
For these people.
For the
And the people say, we don't want this thing. You say you must collect it. Now I will kill you
maybe
to receive
sometimes
it.
a lot of politicians would think that you don't know better. So they are teaching you a better way to do it.
Well, I mean, that's on one side. And I agree with you, because the politicians don't really believe that the people are that the people know what they want. And this is not even Nigeria. It is all over the world. Right? Largely, politicians think less of the people. And so that is why they go for the meager approach of getting the numbers that they wanted. So you will find it that it will be hard, right, for a politician to walk into, let's say, Banana Island, right, and then probably stay at the gate of Banana Island and carry different packs of, the king-size pizza and say, please pick a pizza and vote for me.
Yeah.
He knows nobody is going to look at him. Oh yes, they like pizza. They eat pizza. But they would not take your pizza. They would rather want to listen to you. But he knows he can go to Coco.
Yeah.
And tie garri inside nylon.
Yeah. Put more sugar inside.
And then he needs numbers.
Yeah.
And because he knows that they don't know better, he would go there and use that way to entice them and then get what he wants. So I agree with you. Politicians don't talk for what they don't rate Nigeria.
They don't rate
us. You get. But coming to the youth, if the youth are ready for see that question is quite relative, right? So when people do things, even these elders that we're talking about, I have come to a point where I would not say that, the youths are ready, because we fought NSAS. No. I will not also tell you that the youths are not ready. The reason is simple. There are youths till today who are ready to. If you call, let's go and protest again, there are thousands of youths that will come with you.
Yeah.
There are also youths, right, that when you even talk about bad governance, they are ready to kill you and tell you that why would you speak about the government?
Yes.
So and there are youths who are not ready either to protest or concerned about anything, who just want to sit down somewhere, smoke Colorado, smoke Igbo, smoke whatever.
Point finger.
They are not interested. So somebody may pick the youth that are into drugs and say, these are the ones that call themselves the leaders of tomorrow.
Yes.
No, they are not.
Yes. Yes.
Or you pick the ones that are, in support of the present decadence that is happening and say, look at the youth that are in support of and they are not. Or would you now say, the ones that are really, really fighting against the government, are they the ones that are ready? It is relative. It will always be relative. And we have that too, even amongst the so-called elders in the society. Some of them are, really speaking against the whole, issues of the country. They're speaking to the issues. And some of them, because some of the people that are leading are their friends, they will not say anything, or they will rather just speak and support. So all of these things are relative. If you look at it holistically, right, there is no point in time anywhere where you find a particular group of people and everybody will believe in the same cause. No.
Yeah.
But have we always had youths that are willing to make this country better and push it, forward? Yes. Do we have youths who don't know what they are doing, who don't know their right from their wrong, from the left?
You say yes.
We have them. So it depends on the one that we want to now feed more and get to grow in the course of getting the nation better.
Thank you. You know, a lot of times when we discuss politics, I'm still thinking that the politics we practice in Africa is a bit weird and different. We don't really have career politicians. People that they are, from the time that they were born and they school, they are tailored in a particular way to have a mentality. Most of the people that we have in politics are like happenstance. I have money, there's a position.
Absolutely.
And I can feel it because money is power. So for us to be able to get to that future, which is like a utopia, how are we going to walk that trajectory? Because the monies that we're talking about that is making power available is still reserved in a section. It's not trickling down to anywhere. So how are we going to get to that place that we ought to get to?
So the road there is two things. One is it's not like there are no career politicians. There are. President Tinubu, for example, is a career politician. If you want to look at it,
Yep.
you know.
No matter how angry we are.
Yeah, I mean,
let's call it a spade a spade.
but you see, in reality, what we don't have are ideologies, political ideologies. APC stands for nothing. PDP, I mean, I'm a Labour Party, and we
have
know
your
that
challenges too.
we have our challenges. I mean, but you see, why? Let me make an excuse for my own party now, right? It is the fact that there is one man that at least we know that this man believes so much in education, right? So if the Labour Party is going to be a party to talk about any form of ideology, it will be a party that would say, oh, this party will develop education. So once they are thinking of Labour Party, you are thinking of progress and development in educational sector. Oh, that does not mean that it's not going to fix road. That does not mean that it's not going to fix electricity or any other thing. But of course, you know that once a Labour Party, president is in office, the education of that country is going to go forward. Thank you. So, and that is the second thing. We are not educated. I saw a video of a 5-year-old young girl in the US whose father, jokingly said, I think she did something wrong. So the father said, you Democrats. And the kid started crying, Mommy, Daddy called me a Democrat. I'm not a babe 5-year-old. Because apparently in that house, they are Republicans. And so this girl, at the age of 5, had been told that they are a Republican. Whether Republican is good or bad, she does not know.
She identifies somewhere.
But that ideology is there. And she's going to grow with it and become a Republican. In the UK, it is clear the Labour Party is the Labour Party. The Conservative Party is the Conservative. Everybody knows the difference. So the political ideology is missing in the Nigerian political space. And that's one of the things that if we are able to get right, and how can we get it right? If we educate our people, if we enlighten ourselves more from, get-go. The reason why you can talk about politics today is because you have education.
Yep.
The uneducated Nigerians, they don't discuss politics, they discuss people. Igba Obasanjo, Tinubu, Yaradua. That's what they discuss. They discuss people. They don't discuss politics. You can only discuss politics. You can only understand politics. You can only understand the ideology of politics when you are educated. These things are missing. And that's where the problem is.
So now for because you made mention of this, so I'm just also going to take it in this direction. Tradition, tribalism. How have these things, because tradition, of course, religion, tribalism, or let's just say religion and tribalism, how have these things actually affected? Because sometimes it seems like we know the reasons why we are having a terrible economy, but nobody really wants to address it. Now, a number of people will say, religion, they've used religion to tie everybody's head. Some other people will say, tribalism. The Yoruba man does not want to call his Yoruba leader out because now I'm person from your own side. How true is it That's one. You down because again, a number of us are from the outside. You've gone into politics now, so you know what's going on inside. Is it really a problem? Or we're just basically shouting from the outside and there's another problem elsewhere?
Oh yeah, of course. Religion and of course is playing a major role in our politics. We cannot even shy away from it. Both in the south and strongly in the north. I mean, they know, especially in the north, that the imams are the one who decide who's going to win the election. Because they are going to, they don't care. I mean, Christians are still a bit posh and about this whole politics thing. But I like the Muslims. They will tell you in the mosque, they will tell you, and this is the person you vote for. So, and when that happens, a lot of people would heed to their spiritual.
But when some pastors, for example, tell you vote for this person, there's a fight against the pastor for telling people who to vote for.
And so when the pastor says, for example, vote for Peter Obi, the backlash is not even coming from the other religious. It's not coming from the Islamic. It's coming from the political. So the opposition of Peter Obi will now make it look like, oh, pastor is saying this, pastor is saying that. I mean, if you continue to care about that, you will not even make any move about politics in the first place. So that will always and naturally happen. But for me, personally, religion will not cloud my. I'm a member of Redeem. I've always been a member of Redeem. I got married in Redeem. I had my 2 children. I am still a member till today. If there are some things, not even if there are some things Pastor Adeboye has said in the past that I don't agree with, and I will say it. This one, sir, you are wrong. It does not mean that if he prays, I will not say amen.
Yeah.
It does not even mean that if he says some, it does not change that. It does not change it. He is my spiritual leader.
Father, yeah.
He's my spiritual father, and I will respect him. Who bore me when he's on the pulpit? I will now say I want to go and I can't cough now.
Yeah.
You understand? But if he delved into politics, and he says things that is wrong, I will respond. I say, sir, this thing you have said is very wrong. If my father or anybody's father, for example, if, for example, you walk into a house and you see your father smoking igbo,
you say, fella, sorry, daddy.
you would say, daddy, no, this is wrong now. Daddy, I got to say you down.
Yeah.
After you do that and you are leaving, and he says, come, let me pray for you. Would you say, oh, daddy, today I No. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
His role as your father still remains as your father.
Yeah.
But if he does anything wrong, you tell him that he does anything wrong.
Yeah.
The problem we have is that our people take religion, hook, line, and sinker, and think that when a religious person says anything, is
without flaws.
I mean, no. Now we all know that they are called man of God or men of God.
But they are man
But they are
before
still
the
man.
God is attached
Before
to
the
it.
God
Yeah.
is attached.
You know, one of the things I've looked at in African politics is that until something enters revolution that is bloody, there's hardly any change. And it doesn't mean that the revolution will not come with pain, anguish, loss, and like a restart. It's only very few African countries, I would say, are learning from their mistakes. Look at Rwanda. Rwanda is bouncing back economically. In fact, they are becoming the cynosure of all eyes in Africa now. When you're talking tourist destination, they are looking at there. But must we get to that point of no return before we actually return? Because the way Nigeria is going, a lot of people will say we are heading for that same place. Is that do you share that sentiment?
Well, I think our leaders are just heartless people. We just, I think Africa has been really unfortunate with
leaders. Because a number of leaders don't want to even leave power.
For where? Until they kill you and drag you on the road.
It's as for example, this same Rwanda.
The same Rwanda, yes. The president.
Kagame should also find a way to bow out and get somebody else because to continue his legacy.
He refused to leave too.
The reality of it is that life is as it is until something happens and crashes this entity called Earth. It is in continuum. And you cannot do everything.
Yep.
You can only do the one. So with the time that you are there, if you have done enough, look, build somebody while you are growing.
A successor.
Now.
Yes, now.
But most of the succession in Africa is family based. Honestly.
No, but that's not for a progressive man.
Exactly, but that is where the leanings are. You are seeing that if a politician is in power, he's already positioning members of his household to continue. Maybe not directly in Nigeria. It's more African and African nepotism. It's more an African thing. And it's entrenched in the fabric of our agbada.
Of course.
That is why you will have a president that is still sitting 30 years on a presidential seat. Who does that? And by the time he's even leaving, he's grooming his son to just step into his shoes. Kilode?
Just like Ife said, the one that was standing and peeing on himself.
Yes, I mean,
literally they want to die.
Should you not just leave that place and go home and resign?
But one of the signs that you've done well is that you are able to raise a successor, not family, somebody that can take over from you. Not necessarily that you have to die there first before then pass your son and all that. African leaders, that's not the same juju they give all of them because
is he a black? Okay, let me say, is he a black man
or an African thing?
Or an African thing?
No, it's not. It's pretty much human thing. Look at China. I mean, it's just a session for one.
As you don't mention China, and I just sound.
I mean, so these things happen all over the world, but my problem with Africans is that African leaders is that they are very wicked people. A lot of African leaders are not patriotic about their country. They are not patriotic people. A lot of African leaders are not patriotic. They are just there for the groove and for the the name of being called the president. And all the paraphernalias of
our local
that kind of thing. So I mean,
it's just a political slogan.
No, just of course. Well, it concerns us. It remains us now.
So they are very mean and very wicked because if it's not wickedness, right? You cannot imagine the kind of corruption that has gone down in Nigeria till today, and then nobody is really been. I mean, I was in a political gathering recently, and then we're talking, and then somebody mentioned the 90 billion. And then somebody asking that, by way of their addressing, they will call me honorable now, which I'm not actually really interested in. But then, they say, honorable, what if you are the one that is president? That 90 billion. I said, all of you, listen to me. Better don't vote for me if I want to. I say I want to become president. Because if I become president of this country, nothing like Hajj money. If you want to go to Mecca, go and look
Save
for
your
money.
If you want to go to Jerusalem.
It is not there in the Quran that you must use money, somebody's money or government money, or go and borrow money to go to Mecca. The same thing with people that are Christians. If you want to go to Jerusalem, if
go and save your money.
Is important to you. Go and do what? Go and hustle. Get the money and then go and get your JP. Or whatever
Jerusalem is JP.
So please don't because we keep taking misplaced
priorities.
Thank you.
But they'll tell you it's politicizing because when you pay for Hajj and you pay for Jerusalem, you can be very sure that you are going to get
I can bet you.
From those sides.
Bet you 100% that most of the people that they pay for may not even vote for you. Most of them may not even vote for you. You see, our politicians are very dull. The ones that are in office, that they are very dull. There is a pattern at which they've actually designed this thing called politics. And so they think that that's the ultimate. And I like the fact that, Peter Obi shocked them in the last election. I mean, the election in Nigeria has always been a two-leg race of, if this party, that party. So when the results are out, you hear this party 12 million, this party 8 million, the next one 2, the next one 3, 10, 8.
Oftentimes, you have to choose between two devils.
Showori will get 30.
After plenty shouts. a country.
But for the first time, right, you can see that there was a three, a strong three, candidates. There are three candidates who actually got good. So if Peter Obi, upon the fact that they stole his vote in Rivers and in Delta and a couple of other places, right? Upon the fact he still got 6 million votes, about 6.7 million votes. That is absolutely commendable. That is to show to these politicians that it's not just about you. Your money will fail you. We were saying it before that 2023 election that money is going to fail them, and it did fail them, right? Because whether we like it or not, now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an accidental president of by the way he won the election. Because if you want to go by logic and how things are done, you cannot lose Lagos, lose Abuja, lose Rivers, because we can read Rivers for him, lose Kano State.
Those are still allegedly.
But the people that he used to rig, the people that use, there is a video of a man that said it, that we can ask us to rig the election for APC. These things are not easy. Why are we hiding ours? Why we will be saying allege, and using it to cover
that word allege.
Oh yes, it is alleged, but somebody alleged it now.
It's not alleged from the sky.
It's not alleged from the sky.
Yeah.
And so somebody said it that we can use them to rig the election in favor of APC. You get? So this man didn't win in Lagos. He didn't win in Abuja. He didn't win in Rivers. He didn't win in Kano. And where?
And he's president today.
Everybody knows. See, election all over the world. The UK, the US, all over the world. There are places that they know will swing the vote. So if you can be winning different states, right? But when it comes to this particular, there are some sorts of states. If you don't win them, everybody knows that you cannot win that election. So it was by accident that some numbers were put together, and then Beavers had to stop working in between, So the same thing that the INEC chairman had promised that it's going to work smoothly. They reassured us and reassured us and reassured us. All of a sudden, it stopped working. Right, so we know this. All the things that played out during that election.
Should that result? Should we have annulled? Should we have cancelled and probably run another election? Because the way the whole thing went, normally on a good day, the way that whole election went.
But do you know that a lot of times I would say that Nigerians are emotional people. Maybe because of my legal background, that is why I beg to differ on some things. Because if you go to the court of law, that is the only recourse that you have for justice. And Nigerians are talkers. They do not know how to gather evidence. That is where we fail. So it
still comes back to the education he was talking about.
See, you can be emotional about a result. But if we do not have
concrete
tangible evidence that is admissible, you can't just do a video and show the back of somebody and say, your brother is white, so therefore he should be. No. In law, evidence, that is why in law they will tell you that everybody has a right to defense. Even somebody that murdered someone. If you don't do your due diligence as a prosecution, and the defense are able to adduce evidence to, do you know in law, what do you think we are gunning for? Doubt. Are you able to prove beyond reasonable doubt? That is the underlying factor. If you cannot, the rest is history. It's just emotions.
Even if you are right originally.
Even if you are right, before the law, they are not going to check your conscience. They are going to look at the weight of evidence before them. So these are the things that we should put into our mind in the next election.
So I think that for now, we've been able to also learn from the last election the things to do or work better on. Moving forward.
Absolutely.
Moving forward. Because again, another thing I think that so many Nigerian youths fail to also understand
Sorry, I wanted to just say, just by the side, what you said now is one of the reasons why one of my all-time best movie is Law Abiding Citizen. If you have not seen the movie, that movie, so let me just summarize it. Two armed robbers came to a man's house and killed his wife and his daughter. right? So the lead armed robber was the one who killed the wife, right? And in fact, he raped the wife and then eventually killed the person. So the supporting armed robber, they found a way in the court to push the blame on the other guy.
Okay.
So the other guy got, I think he was killed, and then this one got 10 years in prison. So the husband of the person that they killed his wife was in court, and he was telling them that this is not the person that killed my wife. This is the person. They said there is no evidence. So Baba now went, within that 10 years, and I went to study law. He went to arrange himself. So the day they released that guy from prison. He went to kidnap him. He killed him, mercilessly. And then he went to submit himself that he's the one that killed him. And then they said they should go and look for evidence. He said he didn't take lawyer.
He stood for himself now.
He represented himself.
Want to prove his evidence. Go and look for the evidence. I'm the one that killed him.
Yeah.
But if you don't have evidence against me, he was quoting law for them. So it's a thing. I mean, that we must also understand, right? That whether we like it or not, the law is not emotional about anything.
Yeah.
You need evidence. You must prove, beyond reasonable. I just thought to, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the fact that so many people just thought that that the last election, because of the way the young people came out, that it will swing towards just what the young people just wanted. I mean, a lot of people were behind Peter Obi. And say, okay, our support is mad. Oh, look at the result. Look at the crowd here and everything. Which again, like Lolo said, emotional stuff, right? At the end of the day, what I also think that most of us need to adjust mentally for, because again, I heard so many people say this thing, that they don't rig this election. They don't give us who we no want. Next election, no, they come out again. Now, I think that is where we always fail.
Yeah.
The fact that we think that just one blow is just going to set everything in your, in perspective with what you want.
What you think.
But it's something that we need to continue to put, because for the youths, especially if you're watching, I mean, we need to have learned from the last one. Okay, they were able to do X, Y, Z, and this was where they were able to hide evidence so that they will not catch them like this. Okay, now we go for the next one now. As we come out in these numbers too, let us also be able to say, okay, now like this, we won't catch anybody. We can't do one. Put things in place.
When you talk about the youths, and I will say this categorically to them, elections are not won on Twitter. It's not won on Instagram. And that is what majority of the youths still did.
But a good number of young people came out the last one. Let's give it to them first.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was an improvement.
Yes.
But for where we are going, that they desire, it should be better than that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them stayed tweeting on their phones. But when it came to the nitty-gritty of putting their mouth, your money where your mouth is, or how do they say that? A lot of them still refrained.
Yeah.
But imagine if all that clamored on social media were physically there. Do you know some places? I saw some places that were seemingly scattered and rigged. Look at the people there.
But
you see that old woman that is sitting on the stool she brought from home that will be able to withstand? Imagine if the youths came out as much as they came out on social media. Even some area boys that want to scatter a place, they'll find it difficult to come.
But don't you also think that, don't you also think that the average Nigerian youth too has probably been raped mentally to the point where they don't give up? Because a number of people did not see their voters card.
Yeah.
A number of people. So all of these things too are also strategies sometimes psychologically to just make you come up power for your hand.
Yes.
I mean, you cannot do more than that. Because there's that part to that's what I'm just saying.
Yes.
Because
I know.
the young people too, a number of them too have felt that way.
So here is my take. Just like I said earlier, there are youths that will do everything to support the narrative and push themselves to the limits. And there are youths that will continue to remain on Twitter.
Yeah.
There are some of us that will be on Twitter and will still be in real life.
Yeah.
But in reality, we must commend the youth, the young people, for what happened in 2023.
Yeah, because I was impressed personally.
It is highly commendable.
Yeah.
The reason is that before 2023, the level of voter apathy in Nigeria was very high. People people literally. I was campaigning. People were telling me that, "Oga, you are wasting your time.
Yeah.
They are going to write the results.
Yeah.
We will not see any results." That was the mentality.
Yeah.
But for the ones who came out, right, who were able to do what they did and were able to pull that amount of votes right? It is highly commendable. And then coming to the other part of it, where you said, what they now say now that, oh yeah, I'm not coming out again after all we did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're a young person out there and you think that, oh, because the election was rigged.
That's one attempt that we all made.
For just one attempt.
Yeah.
And then you want to, then you were not really ready, because change does not come instantly.
Especially for the kind of society we
Society
are,
that we
where
have
these
it.
guys have been before you.
You know,
To break down that giant is not going to be one blow.
But that is why we will have to keep talking to the youth.
yeah. So
Because what they did, even though one of the things that I commend the youth for was the fact that now I could see more education about election.
yeah.
Even if many of them have not fully participated as I desired, at least we have gotten them to look and say, okay, something is here.
Yeah.
There's power here.
Yeah.
We can focus on this here.
Yeah.
So I am believing that from that, the next election, honestly,
Yeah.
I am thinking very, very strongly that it will not be business as usual.
No. So there are some people that are saying that, and it is a statement that is being said out of anger, right? But when push comes to shove,
Yeah.
right, these are the same people that will come out,
Yeah.
mobilize more, and say, "Oh, you guys, this is what you did last time. We are not going to allow you to do the same thing again," right? It is in this same election that we're talking about that MC Oluomo came out and said that some Igbo people should not come to vote.
Yes.
Police were standing there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and I tell you, this is not going to happen again.
So what can be done now to prevent stuff like that in the future? Because now sometimes it seems like we just wait till wahala don't happen, or when elections are just at our door, that's when we want to start to run around and do certain things. What can we do between now and the next election, at least to get people ready? So it's not like we're sleeping until the election won't start. They will not start to jump, run around. Exactly.
There are a lot of things that we need to do. We need to have conscious conversations like this. I'm planning a talk around politics and for the young people in my own constituency. That's going to come up, either this month or next month. So we need to keep reminding ourselves. We need to, and thankfully, the present government is doing the job for us. He's reminding them every day. If you people don't want to suffer times two, because the suffer already now has gone.
Shege Pro Max.
So we are very happy to see what they are doing now, to remind them that no, this is what should have been avoided. So if you are saying now, oh, because of last election, I'm not coming out again. No, all you are just saying is that I want to enjoy the next level of suffering. So we know that these are the things that will remind us. So we keep having this conversation. We keep reminding everybody. You yourself, Lolo, you guys have the platform now, like us now, So these are the, wherever we are, we need to. If I get to meet organizer, mechanic, anywhere I get to, I will tell them, I will keep reminding them that know very well that this country, the way it is, you can save it. And if you keep voting for the same people that were there, right, you will keep getting worse result, not even the same result, worse result. You want a better country, stop following them.
And now, you mentioned something about the elders earlier, and that's where I want to tilt to now. I mean, your video that you made on Instagram, it went viral. That's you were talking about this, Wale Soyinka, and respectfully say, because the way you went about it, like you said, we can call out our leaders, but then of course there's the respect part of it, but that doesn't mean we can't call them out, right? What was that all about? Let me allow you to say it yourself, because that thing went everywhere. On Twitter, I think was hot. On Instagram, different blogs were carrying it at that point.
Okay, so first of all, I studied theater arts.
Yeah.
And Wale Soyinka is like a demigod.
To thespians.
To the thespians. Yeah. So I read a couple of Wale Soyinka's books, and of course, I see a Wale Soyinka like high up there. And I remember that, the fuel subsidy protest at Ojota.
Yeah.
Right. Wale Soyinka was there.
That was What was that?
That's 20. I think 2012, right? Yeah, I think it was 2012. So I was living in Igondo at the time. I checked from Igondo, for people who know the distance. I trekked from Igondo to a place called Akunwojo Underbridge. I got a bus, a vehicle from Underbridge to Ikeja long. You know, that the person dropped all of us there, dropped us off there. I crossed into Ikeja. I trekked from that place to Ojota because I went in to attend that protest, because I wanted to see Wole Soyinka. So for you to know how important, how great this man is to me. And so it happened that we had election. And from obvious reasons, and from some of the videos that we had seen, it happened that he's a friend to President Tinubu, which is fine. And so President Tinubu had been given the presidency. He is the one leading the nation. Things are going bad. I mean, he was asked at first that,
because I know he made a statement.
Yes, he was asked at first
that got you going.
When are you going to address the issue with the present government? And he said he's not going to say anything about the government until after a year. Right?
Yeah.
By the way, it is now 1 year, 1 month, about 9 days. He has not said anything on one side. But within this time, Wole Soyinka before now comes out maybe to speak, maybe once in 2 years. Or he will write, sometimes maybe once in 4 years. But it happened that in this present dispensation, my daddy just began,
just quiet.
He started coming out.
Coming out more, speaking
every
more.
market day now, Baba is on one podcast, and then he will now start talking about Peter Obi. He will start talking about obedience. He will call obedient fascist. He will call obedient different names. And so the one that broke the camel back for me was when he came out the last time, and then he said he doesn't expect Peter Obi to come out to contest in 2027. And then he still went on to call obedience different names. I was like, damn, this is not the Wole Soyinka I knew.
Yeah, but you can blame it on age.
Age,
no.
Age won't change.
No.
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
I will just trend.
I'm playing devil's advocate. Sometimes the older you get,
video now.
the older you get, sometimes the older you get.
He says it himself that he's very sane. That he knows what
still
he's
sound.
doing.
Yeah,
it's still sound. So he said it himself. So he's okay. But why? Now, like I said in the video, the obedience that you are talking about, check it now. Peter Obi lost the election. Which riot happened afterwards? Peter Obi said nobody should do anything. He went to court. Right?
Yeah.
You want to compare that to when Buhari lost the election in 2011 and the kind of numbers of people that were killed? Do you want to compare it to other people who had lost the election and what has happened? Do you want to compare it to APC? Every APC, the same APC that is supporting, every APC primaries, they will kill at least 1 or 2 persons. The last one in my area in Echooroom, they still killed 2 people, 2 young people, able-bodied men. This is the kind of party and the people. And then you are calling obedience name for what? Look, give me one name that obedience have been calling the opposition. You will say Agbado. You will say Ronu. These 2 names, it came from them. This is what they were calling themselves. Obedience just,
serve it back to them.
Yeah, just serve it back to them. Yeah. But they borrowed names from Professor Wole Soyinka to call obedience. Several names. No problem. This is the same set of people that will call anybody that was not supporting, till date, anybody that is not supporting President Tinubu, will call them bastard. My brother, in Yoruba land, bastard is the highest level of insult. It means that you are disconnected from your traditional heritage, from your everything that concerns you. You are a lost soul. That is what it means to be called a bastard in Yoruba land. And these people go about, saying all of these things, and my Professor Wole Soyinka did not see anything wrong. This same set of people who came out during election to attack people, beat some people, enjoy a lot of people, Professor Wole Soyinka did not see anything to say about them.
At least to have addressed that area rather than just speak about obedience.
Exactly.
So he made it look like he had taken a side.
Wasn't balanced.
Thank you.
But is he not entitled to
what?
to choose a side?
He is entitled to choose a side, though. And so we had also chosen ours. I had chosen obedience side. And I had to also respond to him that, sir, this is not his position, because if he had the right to address us every now and then, we had the right to address him. Sir, this one that you are coming out to talk about obedience every now and then, we are not the problem of Nigeria. Obedience are not Peter Obi is not the problem of Nigeria right now. You will ask them, Yam has gone from 200 to 5,000. They will say, what did Peter Obi did in Anambra? Is that not the dumbest thing ever for anybody to say? You met dollar at 500 naira, you had pushed it to 1,500. You will complain. They will say, go back, leave Lagos, go back to Anambra. Is that not madness? And our dear professor did not say anything to say about this, except obedience is this, obedience is that. So I told him, like I said, I did not insult him.
Yeah, because
I begged him.
Because
I said, sir.
There's a lot of sir. But it's in the hit home.
I knew, one of the things that was said in that video that I think a lot of media houses wrote on it was the fact that I said that he does not have a future in Nigeria. It is not insult, it's a statement of fact.
Yeah. Judging by his age, comparing to that of us,
he has done a lot. He has achieved a lot. If you're talking about protest, if you're talking about someone who can actually face and fight for the right of the people, we will talk about Wole Soyinka. He was able to do that. He cannot do all of that now again. And we now have a future ahead of us that we were fighting for. And if he's not happy with it, then he should let us be. We will not even stop him but he cannot even stop us also from actually demanding for good governance.
Where do we draw that line now as young people? Because a number of what I saw comment-wise, which again I felt like, I think this is also part of our problem, is that so many people are now saying, can't you respect your elders? Can't you respect your elders? We had a lot of young people saying that. Where do we draw the line? Where we have to call out these elderly ones on their BS.
And still tread with caution.
Tread with caution and still apply some form of respect.
Because
that could be our problem right now. Like we said originally when we started the whole thing. There's a way we look at people who have gone ahead of us sometimes and we're in awe. And so we can't even call them out on some things because there's so much respect going on in our chests. But that could also be part of the problem we have.
If I see Professor Wole Soyinka right now, I will prostrate.
Just like Peter Obi does with every other person he ran with.
I will prostrate right in front of him.
Yeah.
But if after prostrating, if I rise up and he said, you this fascist, I'll say, sir, you are wrong, sir.
I am not a fascist.
I'm not a fascist. I am this and this.
Yeah.
I stand for integrity. I stand for accountability. I stand for everything that is right, sir. That is what I'm standing for. Right, so our culture, right, is also somewhat, some sort of, a thing that is pulling us back from being able to speak truth to power, right? And so when you say these things, it will look as though you are disrespecting elders. No, we're not. We're not. You see, like that. Why do you think the Western world is progressing? They will take issues more importantly than they will take personalities. Issues are more important to them. What is the issue? What is the problem? Oh, you are 69-year-old man, right? And yet you are raping a young person, and you would. A 25 or 20-year-old man would tell you that, sir, you are very stupid for this act.
Yeah. And that word stupid is not an abuse to them. It's because of what you are doing.
It's because of what you're doing.
It's a stupid act.
It's a stupid act. But let me tell you, and there are a lot of rape cases that could have happened in this country And because the person that is involved is an
elder
in the family,
they can't call them out.
they can't call them out. A lot of young people are going through different kinds of trauma. Or because we cannot speak truth to our elders, we cannot speak truth to our leaders. And if we continue like this, we will not have a nation in the nearest future.
We still have a nation.
We still have.
Well,
At least the fact that you and I we are all still here, one way or the other. I mean, because at the end of the day, it still goes back to like what we said earlier. We need to continue talking.
Yeah.
Let's not stay silent. And this goes out to every young Nigerian who is even watching at the moment. We need to keep talking. I believe we stay too silent. I mean, NSAS happened how many years ago? Between that time and now, we've kind of gone silent again. You get
the thing is, I don't even want them to just talk. I want you to talk sensibly.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that means get some education.
Because
If you're not an authority in a thing and you're speaking, the words are still not going to make any impact.
Because really, let's not deceive ourselves. It's not just about the youth. We've had young people. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu became governor of Lagos State at the age of 47. 47.
Was that the original age or the
That is the official age.
official? Okay. Because I know
47.
that we still have issues with that.
Well, I mean, that's his lot.
Yeah.
I don't care if he likes to call himself 27 years. It doesn't, but he was officially a governor at the age of 47. Dimeji Bankole became the Speaker of the House at the age of 37. Gowon became the President of Nigeria at the age of 32. So, really, I think that for a lot of young people, right, what we need to work on more is their psyche and understanding of what politics is, because it has been really bastardized. When I was on radio, I cannot forget that night. I put the question out that, please, people saying that if you reach office, I will go chop my own.
Yeah.
I'm opening the phone line. Call me. I want to know whether if you reach there, you go chop or you go do for the people. It was heartbreaking.
Very, very.
Everybody, not one. I see that night. It like make I cry.
That monster is a monster on his own.
You know that I always say these cartoons that they draw a cake, then there'll be knife, and they have been cutting the cake from different sides.
You go yes. I go hear men go call, then girls go call. I say, thank God, lady don't come in, woman don't come in. If active, I go chop my own. It's
Our mentality.
So that's a monster on its own.
It is.
Even people who are calling out the present government, for example, if they get there,
But do you know that in the overview
how
of
many good people still remain?
Ogbolo, most of the time when I look at this country, we are our government. Our government is us. If you look at us, the indiscipline in our personal life is reflected in the discipline in our leadership.
Exactly.
Anybody that still bribes and steals, even ordinary Yahoo boy, cannot even tell me that he is a leader potential. Because we are a reflection of who sits there.
Yeah.
So every individual can point. Yoruba will say, Toba no work on Siwaju. The rest of your finger points at you.
Again, we cannot generalize. As we have bad Nigerians, so we have good Nigerians. I saw something on Twitter 2 days ago where a Nigerian that was mistakenly sent some amount of dollars from abroad, right? And the guy asked that he should send the money back, and he did, right? So we have bad people. You see all of those people that are called that day.
Even I heard that story. Did you see the laughter?
That was my evil laughter. Because again, these are the things that will make you think. That are you good as a Nigerian?
Exactly.
You as a Nigerian, are you good yourself?
Good
because
yourself?
if they send me that money by mistake now, Ogbola, will you send it back? I will think. Oh my God, could this be how you work? Saving me from all my problems?
God works
Because this is how the average Nigerian would think.
And the same thing we think about politicians, that all politicians are bad. Let me tell you for a fact, not all politicians are bad.
Yeah.
For a fact. You see that National Assembly, right? We hear the voices of the horrible ones amongst them.
Yeah.
There are a number of them who they try, in fact, the bad ones there drown their voices, but they try to speak for the people, right? So there are a few of them. They may not be
Lots.
because
Akpabio is already saying 8 years for Tinubu. Ah, God.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those ridiculous. If you don't see, these are the things they plant in narrow-minded people's minds. They know what they are doing
subconsciously.
Now. Subconsciously. So people will start saying it. Well, Tinubu will use 8 years. There's nothing you can do, and it's a lie. If Jonathan,
and these are mindsets we have to break.
If Jonathan can lose to Buhari in 2015, Tinubu can lose to anybody in 2027. So they should carry that and put it on one side. But here is where I'm going. And for the fact, the reason why a lot of us are supporting Peter Obi till today is the fact that, whether you like it or not, he has been able to show some level of restraint in greed and selfishness and self-centeredness. If he, as a governor, and he was leaving office, and he was offered all the juicy, what was it called now? Pensions, you know, that goes with a governor, and he rejected
them. Yeah,
that was estimated to about 700 million. It's not small money. You understand?
Yeah.
If he rejects that, if he can stand and say that till today there is no land that government allocated to him in the whole state that he governed. Even the one that was allocated, he said he does not want. He rejected it. If he could have used 47 million to renovate a governor's house that was budgeted to be renovated with about 500,000, and he cut it down to 47 million. What else do you want from a man to say, oh, this person is at least different?
Like someone said, if you have to rule in this country, you no go get anything upstairs. That's
Yes,
what works.
honestly, I wish we can continue this conversation.
If any last words from you.
Well, my last word to the Nigerian youths especially is don't give up on Nigeria yet.
I beg you.
Yes, don't give up on Nigeria yet. Don't think that, oh, Nigeria cannot get better again. Dubai was from a desert to what it is in 30 years. And of course, if that can happen, it can happen anywhere. We just need the right persons to be in the right office. And of course, come 2027, I would appeal to every one of you. The same energy, let's double that energy for 2027. In fact, let's triple it, let's quadruple it, for 2027. And of course, we'll save Nigeria from the hands of these criminals that are holding the nation at the jugular.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, wherever you are, a round of applause, please, for our distinguished guests. Thank you very much, Ife. How can they follow you on Twitter?
Yeah, IFESALAKO. I'm IFESALAKO official on Twitter.
Yeah.
IFESALAKO official on all other
platforms.
All
right. So,
it's IFESALAKO office on Twitter.
Okay.
IFESALAKO official on other.
Okay, so office joiner for on X.
For Twitter, yes. On X.
On X.
Yes, on X. IFESALAKO office.
All right.
We want to say thank you very much for listening and watching our podcast for this week. We can only urge you to do better for yourself, because if you do better for yourself as a person, definitely you'll be doing better for the nation as a whole. My name is Omotunde Lolowan, is what you call me. Thank you for this week again. We'll do this again very, very next week.
Very soon. My name is Ogbolo, as you know, and like has been said, please let's continue to keep the fire burning. I beg. The rest of it's in our hands, literally. I mean, we can't keep watching things go the way they are going. We've looked too much, we've observed too much, we've spoken behind too much. We need to come forward and begin to take intentional steps. Not just on social media, but intentional steps to come forward. Young people need to get into politics. We cannot continue to just allow things go the way they are and keep pointing fingers from where we are. We need to come forward and step into where the game is being played. All right. So from myself, from everybody, on the crew and everybody behind things and all of that, we say take care of ourselves, and it's been same our peace. God bless you. Ife, thank you very much once again for coming.
Thank you.
God bless you.